Foisted by my own petard. Piano.
Be careful where you buy that petard from. Some of them are frayed at the edges.
Hey, everybody out there. Welcome back to another episode of the Audiophiles. Andy and John here, and we are going to listen to some music. John, what are we digging into today?
So we got a band which I've often threatened you with before. We're both on and off camera. And that is The Goats.
Okay. The Goats. And the name of the track?
The name of the track is Hip-Hopola.
Hip-Hopola. All right. That's an interesting name for a track. All right. Well, now the time has come. It's Goats time. Let me go off and give a listen to Hip-Hopola by the Goats, and I'll come back and let you know what I think. Yeah, with a name like Hip-Hopola, this seems like a very apropos beat that we just got introduced to. And honestly, sort of like that horn sampling bit is very hip-hop-ish as well. Let me take this back. I kind of want to feel that unfold again. I'm digging it too, because this is the kind of, already you can tell by the beat, this is the kind of hip-hop that I sort of came up listening to and have been drawn to ever since. So let's see if it musically it fits that mold, and if lyrically and the messaging fits it as well. But I think I have an idea of what I'm in for. But let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are several iconic wonders of the world. You
Down. Okay, Zeppelin. I see you've made an appearance as well. I wasn't expecting that, but it's welcome.
gentlemen, there are several iconic wonders of the world. You are about to witness a
To the tick-tock on my clock, you know my swatch is ticking. A finger licking on my fingers, count the suckers vicking. Should I be wishing that I'm sitting while the others missing? The rhyme is hitting, now I'm dissing, all the suckers hissing. The beat breaks, so you know the beat is being broke. I awoke to find another record being soaked. Should I hope and take a chance at being Toloke? Or should I freeze her in a winter wear a big goat? I got it going, so you know I keeps it going on. The man is flowing, so you know I rocks it to the morn. I'm steady tearing while the others steady being torn. The rhyme is forewarned, so you've been forewarned. I kick it quick and keep the point sharp like a drill bit. I write the rhymes, I got them throwing fits. Now you can wonder how I rock the mic so swift. Just ask King Rick, he'll say it's just a gift. We cocking props from the tops.
Yeah, this is definitely giving me like backpack rap vibes, which, as I've said in the past, is one of my, probably my favorite subgenre of hip hop music. It's like, God, like Del the Funky Homo Sapien, or like his hieroglyphics from they're like Northern California, right? They're like the Bay Area. Yeah, definitely getting that vibe from this sound. Now, I'm not saying that that's where they're from, but it definitely has that that sound to it. And the first group that I think of when I think of that sound is hieroglyphics, though there are others, clearly. And they're not all just from the NoCal area either.
Hip hops, non-stop I'll never drop from the knock-knocks. I think not, well, a lot of it's the pop rock. It's hard to cop when your socks are tied up in knots. It's kinda crude, kinda rude, you're like, ain't it, dude? They fed your food, then you move to a fatted groove. You tried to sue, but you lose, cause they left you nude. It's hard to prove when you choose to ignite the fuse. I'm scooping tunes like a spoon in some ice cream. The punks fiend, what I mean is that they're unclean. They steady bite being trade about some blue jeans I've never seen, but I've been around the scene. I kick it silly, kinda chilly when my tongue swings. When I'm down, I make a sound of kinda ding-ding. I never sing, but I bring a groovy thing to my group, yeah, the troop in which I cling.
If the gym that is inside you, then you know where Odie's at. The funky
This is a different MC? Sounds like it, anyway.
music don't get Jones rhymes like it is crack. Crack of either kind, it is somewhat addicting. Like the material greed and the dollars doing dickin'. Sticking to the rhythm of the money grubbers picking. If you got some outside just hoeing and tricking. Not like Halloween, but like that little house in Texas. Here you thought a hoe was just one of the sexes. Record reps and flexes by signing the signers. This is a book for those who carry a binder. No pager, no papes, no jism in the drapes. No Sam Goodish out in the CDs or the tapes. Sticking to the hip-hop like it's true as a smoker. Watch the rise and fall as a vanilla-faced joker. Hear it from the green bloods, hear it from the duckers who are selling outs to some whack rap on suckers. You got a little sick with a wheeze and a cough. You took a step to clip, then you tripped and you fell off. The goats are cutting throats, traveling miscogenic. That's the way we like it, for funky, frenetic.
Ooh, yeah, I caught more. I was able to really focus in more on the lyrics in the second sort of verse, if you will. And it sounds like they're taking shots at the music industry and how they're trying to capitalize on the popularity of hip-hop and rap music and make it mainstream. I think their point is hip-hop is inherently underground and born of the streets and not of the boardrooms, if you will, you know, and these the people who are trying to buy the buyers, like buy up all the talent scouts to have them work for the big labels so that they can make money off these folks. And there was the comp before all that where it was like they comped crack to corporate greed, and while those are two vices on very opposite ends of the social or societal spectrum, there are similarities there, and you push shitty music the same way a dealer would push crack on the populace. I think that's interesting. And the vanilla face thing, I mean, yeah, you could just take that if you want as a blanket statement about like a Caucasian individual, but I think it's a not so veiled reference at Vanilla Ice, who's kind of like for the 90s, the poster child of, you know, unearned popularity in the rap sphere. Now, could you argue that maybe as shitty of a talent as he was a gateway drug that got a lot of suburban white kids to listen to what real rap was? Maybe you could make that argument. I don't know if it'd be worth it in the eyes of the true rap artists of the time. You know, they might take issue with that, and I don't know if I could blame them, because Vanilla Ice was shit. But interesting subject matter, and this is what I mean. Like, this is an attribute of backpack conscious alternative rap, where they're talking about real stuff, culturally relevant stuff, and not just gang banging or recycling women or anything like that. They're talking about more serious stuff, or they're capable of talking about more serious stuff, which is often the case in a lot of their music, which I find interesting and clever. And I think when I'm listening to hip hop or rap, That's what I'm looking for. It's so lyrically driven that I want everything to be clever and thought provoking and biting. And I think that that is what this is. And also, the samples and production in backpack rap is just superior too. There's a lot of use of like jazz and stuff like that, and I think we're getting that here with like the addition of these horns and this interesting piano work. Nice. Yeah. This is this big hit for me. There was something a little East Coasty about their voices, though. So I don't know. I'm thinking it could be either, I don't know, maybe not New York because that accent is thicker, but maybe like a Philadelphia or something like that, or maybe even DC. But I'm not really sure where these guys are from. I'm surprised they've flown under my radar because they sound so akin to artists that I really, really enjoy. I mean, I mentioned Hieroglyphics, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, and of that period in the same subgenre was Jurassic 5, The Roots, they're Philly, Most Def and Talib Kweli of Black Star, and then that sort of gave way to like Common, Farside, and then I guess like MF Doom and Aesop Rock. Yeah, this is definitely my wheelhouse of hip hop music, and I really, really enjoy this. I love the sampling. The cheeky little, Led Zeppelin in there was great, as well as that lovely, like all the horns, but that trumpet motif toward the end was great. That almost boom bap drum beat, which is a bit East Coasty too, was really great. And I don't want to take anything away from California. I think some of the best rap in this subgenre has come from California. I think Jurassic 5 are SoCal, but and so I think Farside might be as well. But I definitely know that Hieroglyphics and Dell are from the Bay Area, so they're pioneers over there as well. I feel like it's always obligatory to give both sides of the country shine when we're talking about hip hop, just because of the history there. But that's not backpack rap. That's the stuff that came after, which is still interesting and socially relevant stuff. But that's the more gangster rap that came out of the battle between New York and Bad Boy Records, and the stuff that we had on the West Coast with Snoop and Dre. And obviously Ice Cube, and I guess like I hate to say this, but Tupac represented the West, even though he's very much was born in New York and spent most of his formative years here in Baltimore. He kind of played both sides. But nonetheless, this is a really fun listen. I'd love to learn more about these guys, how in the hell they slipped off my radar, where they're from, and if some of my assumptions about what the subject matter is attacking is accurate, or if John can set me straight on that. But I'm sure he's got that and plenty of other information about these guys that I'm eager to check out. So let's get back to him.
Rock the Casbah is back. So you've had listened to Hip-Hopola by the Goats. How did it strike you?
It struck me. It struck me really well, actually. Should have known by the name, man. I should have known by the name. So piano chords and horn pops get us started here before we're introduced to this apropos, given the title of the track, hip hop beat that drops around the 12-second mark. And through the dense haze of the music, some of which is sampled from our beloved Led Zeppelin, appears a voice calling to our attention the seven wonders of the world while warning us that they are about to witness the ow, and not the nocturnal winged hunter, but rather the expression often associated with pain. This gives way to more pianos, horns, and hip hop percussion, which are soon joined by our MC, who joins the track and instantly catches the flow and the beat and it just starts rattling off line after line of exposition. And obviously, afforded just this one listen, and given the rapidity of his delivery, I'm only catching. You're really testing my limits here, John. I'm only catching so much of what he's spitting,
Sure.
but I catch allusions to the passing of time, finger licking, and suckers, and how the rhyme is hitting while our narrator is dissing all those suckers while the beat breaks. So, interesting stuff. Obviously, these lyrics are pointed at someone, but this is what's a disservice about this one listen is that I was so much more synced in by the second verse because my brain and ears had adjusted to what I was listening to that I feel bad for the first verse and I should have like revisited it off camera really quickly before coming back here because I wasn't even sure if we were getting rap, to be honest with you. So here we are, and it does sound like it's pointed at somebody or something or like a mentality of certain individuals, but that's really all I caught from the first one. But I am enjoying the shit out of his cadence and his flow, which is another thing that I'm trying to listen to over just the words, is see how he's riding the beat. And it's just this classic hip hop feel to it, akin to, and we've talked about this before, but this pre-gangster rap era of hip hop. But it also had some of that like backpack rap vibe to it, akin to like Dell and the Funky Homo Sapien and the rest of that like Northern California collective known as Hieroglyphics. Like they have kind of that sound going on. Their first verse gives way to a brief musical respite before the next verse kicks off, and it's like got these scratches and horns and piano and just that really nice hip hop beat before the next verse kicks off. And it sounds like we have a new voice here. Is this a different individual delivering this? Yeah, I thought so. It sounded like just a little bit lower. And pretty quick out of the gate, he drops this little gem that made me smile. The funky music junkie jonesing for rhymes like it's crack. Crack of either kind, it is somewhat addicting, like the material greed and the dollars doing dickin'. Um, it sounds like he's comparing the addictive nature of street drugs with the corporate greed on the other end of the societal spectrum. And I think more digging in deeper to just corporate greed, I think he's starting and he'll expand on this, unload on the music industry as a whole, or at least the part of the music industry catered toward rap music and focusing on hip hop. So he goes off to like rip on the industry some more, talking about record execs signing the signers, which sounds like a swipe that big record labels trying to infiltrate the underground in the hopes of making money off of them. He also takes a swing at a vanilla-faced Joker and his rise and fall, which instantly made me think of Vanilla Ice. Just this idea of taking music predominantly and solely really at first created popular by the African American population in America, but being popularized through a white face in Vanilla Ice. Now, at the end of the day, did some of those artists reap the benefits of expanding and casting a wider net to a different audience? I'm sure, but did it have to be through the vehicle that was Vanilla Ice? I'm not sure. I don't know if we needed to settle on that. I don't know who made that decision. But it sounds like we've got some individuals who weren't happy that that decision was made, and I can't blame them. As maybe as far as music goes, and there's been a lot of examples of it, the worst example of cultural appropriation you could probably think of in modern music. So yeah, he takes the swipe of the music industry again, trying to capitalize on a genre that is inherently born from the underground and the streets, is kind of reinforced. We hear it from the Green Bloods, we hear it from the Duckers, who are selling out some whack rap buying suckers. So yeah, also making fun of the popularized commercial radio rap. These whack rap buying suckers are those who patronize those rappers. And again, Vanilla Ice comes to mind. Uh, After this portion, we get another musical interlude in which the trumpet goes off with all these wonderful and colorful pops over the top of the piano and beat. And this continues unmitigated for a bit until about the 408 marker when the beat cuts out, allowing the trumpet to again shine before the beat quickly rejoins. The horns then cut out at the 431 mark, leaving the beat to carry us to the end. So I really, really enjoyed this track. I mean, you caught me off guard because all the acts we've talked about, I did not remember that these guys were a hip hop band or a hip hop ensemble. And we've discussed this in the past that my favorite subgenre of hip hop is what has all been kind of called either or all of these things conscious, alternative, or backpack rap. And I've always found the lyricism of this subgenre to be the most clever and pointed. And I, everybody's got something to say and they should say it. That's fine. But I think this subgenre of rap takes on things politically or societally in a way that is more important than just how big your boat is or what your body count is when it comes to sleeping with women. And that's why I think I grab it because I don't own a boat. Okay, like I don't I'm not throwing money at hoes. Like I've never lived that life, but this stuff, my politics align with it, and I believe in it from a societal standpoint. So it resonates with me that much more. So yeah, it's always been one of my favorite subgenres, and this is more akin to that first generation of that movement. Groups like the aforementioned Hieroglyphics, also Jurassic 5, The Roots, Mos Def and Talib Kweli, who go by Black Star, the Far Side, who you're a fan of, and you've opened me up to them a bit more, even though they've always sort of been on my peripheral. And then that would evolve into band or acts like Common, MF Doom, and then Aesop Rock. So it's just really interesting to hear this little blind spot. And I was trying to figure out what they sounded like because my first inclination when I hear conscious backpack rap is to go to Northern California. But then Jurassic 5 is from Southern California. But then the Roots are from Philly. And then there was this boom bap thing in the drums that made me think New York. So and even the accents didn't sound West Coast. They sounded more like New York light, which made me land on either Philly or DC because it's not it doesn't have that New York to it, but it still sounds a bit more East Coast than it does West Coast. So I'm interested to hear more about all this. So please, John, go on.
That's that. I think, well, the Goats, who are from Winnipeg. No, I'm joking.
Winnipeg, the main streets of.
Yeah, I think they're a cult band and a real sort of much slept on delight. This is a seminal record. It really is. It's huge, I think, and it was really. It was taken up by a lot of people in the UK at the time. It's that golden age for me of hip hop, 92. All sorts of shit going on there. Check Your Head, Beastie Boys. What seemed like a skip and a beat afterwards, Cypress Hill and House of Pain, had Far Side as well. All this sort of stuff going on. Really good. So the Goats were alternative hip hop trio. And it's unusual, this song, because you only hear from two of them, which is really unusual because you normally get all three. But they're from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent.
Formed in 91, and they churned this out a year later.
Wow.
So the group's name supposedly was chosen to join the word scapegoats and the saying, "Don't get my goat," concluding that they felt the government had definitely gotten their goat at the time of formation. So they began in 91 with founding vocalist rappers Oti Kato, known as James D'Angelo, and Sway Zach, which is Patrick Shoop. Early lineup of the band in 91 that year featured sisters Love and Russell Mills and Oti's brother Vinny Angel. They released one sort of self-titled cassette tape. And then after that, they were introduced to Mad, who was also known as MA to the double D, which is Max Stoyanov Williams. And that completed the lineup of the Goats proper. They also had a full musical band as well, which kind of shifted around and was not accredited properly. But it did include drummer Chuck Treese and multi-instrumentalist Pierce Turney and bassist E.J. Simpson. Mark Boyce contributed keyboards, and their label Roughhouse, the promotional photo shows an 8-piece lineup, but who knows who they were. Lost in the mist of time. Yeah. Tricks of the Shade, the debut album, released in 92 through Columbia Records sub-label Roughhouse Records. It was produced by Oti Kato and Joe the Butcher Nicolo, who did sterling work before as well. And the artwork was done by Oti's brother and former Goats member, Vinny Angel. Tricks of the Shade is a concept album, and it's like a political version of De La Soul. So as a backstory, has two characters, Chicken Little and Hangerhead, and they make their way through Uncle Sam's federally funded welfare and freak show to find their mother, who's been jailed for attempting an illegal abortion. This is very much of its time.
Mm-hmm.
So you get these strange and disturbing carnival-themed skits which underpin the whole, concepts in between the songs. And the whole album is very politically charged. It takes both barrel aims at figures such as then President George H.W. Bush, Vice President Dan Quayle, the historical figure of Christopher Columbus, Daryl Gates, who was the former chief of LA police and is credited with creating the police SWAT teams. Imagine what a popular figure he must be.
I'm sure they love him.
Criticism and observations were made on such topics as militarism, police brutality, patriotism, classism, and racism. Other persons mentioned in the songs include Nelson Mandela, Willie Horton, Yusuf Hawkins, Minnesota Fats, and Leonard Peltier. There's some great lyrics. I have to say, they take it in turns. MA to the double D is probably my favorite. He does the first verse in this song.
Okay.
Oti Kato is probably the best rapper of the three. But sometimes you just like who you like. And Sway Zach is he's got a different voice. All three have got different voices. They're all three different ethnic backgrounds as well. And Sway Zach always starts all his raps with Sway Zach's going to react like a jack in the box. So every single song is brilliant. It's so good. Anyway, so rapreviews.com. So the racially mixed trio of Mad, MA to the double D, Oti Kato, and Sway Zach turned their animus towards hypocrisy on track after track. Wherever it was the ironic sampling of Schooly D on the chain-snatching, body-catching, what you got is what you're getting, or the intentionally loud 5 stair steps drums of coming in your ear, the Goats consistently turned up the volume to 11. Unlike Onyx, they didn't have to yell to sound angry. And their ire at politics and weak-minded hip-hop gave them the energy they needed. In case you still managed to miss that point, though, the Goats peppered the album with skits. Like one of them in between the tracks was the Georgie Bush Kids, a pointed parody of the Lollipop Gang from The Wizard of Oz, with lines like, "Fuck you, how would you like me to turn your trust fund into a rectal thermometer?"
That's great.
Yeah, amazing stuff. I will just say this. They released a couple of singles. RDR, which is this one here. And the artworks, sorry about that. The artwork is the same. We've got all these little drawings and sketches and bits which are through the sort of weirdo carnival Uncle Sam's scam shit, yeah, going on there. Really, really interesting stuff. And so the other side of this was typical American, as in I'm not your typical American. I don't
Uh-huh.
dig apple pie, it's an American lie, like etc. etc. Really cool stuff. And the other one I got isn't a picture sleeve, unfortunately, but it does have the track "Do the Dogs Dig," which samples the theme tune to Mission Impossible excellently.
Oh,
Diddle-oo, diddle-oo, diddle-oo. Do the dogs dig? Do the digs do? Do the dogs dig? Do the digs do? Dugga dugga dig dig dugga dugga dig dig. Anyway, and the B side to that is the song you just listened to, Hip-Hopola. Really good, and a couple of versions of it there, remixes you'd imagine. So, big breath. The lyrics.
yes.
Fuck. All right, please bear with me because yeah, I'm not a professional hip hopster. To the tick tock on my clock, you know my swatch is ticking. A finger licking on my fingers, count the suckers vicking. Should I be wishing that I'm sitting while the other's missing? The rhyme is hitting now, I'm dissing all the suckers hissing. The beat breaks, so you know the beat is being broke. I awoke to find another record being soaked. Should I hope or take a chance of being tone loke? Or should I freeze or in the winter wear a big coat? That's a reference to Tone Loc stealing fucking material from other rapper, struggling rap artists.
Yeah.
As you imagine, in 1992, people, not all, but a lot of songs were either about the ladies, the man, or in Public Enemy's case, the G-man, or other rappers. And this
Yeah.
is about other rappers, the whole industry. I got it going so you know I keeps it going on. The mad is flowing, so you know I rocks it to the morn. I'm steady tearing while the others steady being torn. The rhyme is full gone, so you are being forewarned. I keep it quick and keep the point sharp like a drill bit. I write the rhymes, I got them throwing fits. Now you can wonder how I rock the mic so swift. Just ask King Brett, he'd say it's just a gift. We got them props from the tops of the hip hops. Non-stop, I never drop from the knock knocks. I think not well a lot as fizz to pop rock. It's hard to cop when your socks are tied up in knots. It's kind of crude, kind of rude. Yo, like ain't it, dude? They fed you food and you moved to a fatty groove. You tried to sue, but you lose because they left you nude. It's hard to prove when you choose to ignite the fuse. I'm scooping tunes like a spoon in some ice cream. The punks feeling what I mean is that they're unclean. The steady bite being trite about some blue jeans. I never seen, but I've been around the scene. I keep it silly, kind of chilly when my tongue swings. When I'm down, I make a sound, a kind of ding ding. I never sing, but I bring a groovy thing to my group, yeah, the troop in which I cling. Ba, 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 ba. Big breath, verse two, which is harder because it's OT. Right. The gym is If the gym it's at inside you, then you know it's where OT's at. The funky music junkie joins in for rhymes like it is crack. Crack of either kind is somewhat addicting, like the material greed of the dollars doing dick in. Sticking to the riffing of the money grubbers picking. If you've got some outs to sell, then you're just hoeing and tricking. Not like Halloween, but like that little house in Texas. Here you thought a hoe was just one of the sexes. Record reps perplex us by signing the signers. This is blurred for all those who carry a binder. No pager, no paps, no jism in the drapes. No Sam Goody shelving their CDs or their tapes. Sticking to the hip hop like it's true as a smoker, watching the rise and fall of some vanilla faced joker. We hear it from the green bloods, we hear it from the duckers who are selling out to some whack rap buying suckers. You got a little sick with a wheeze and a cough. You took a step to the cliff and then you tripped and you fell off. The goats are cutting throats, traveling misogenic, because that's the way we like it for funky, frenetic. Instrumental outro. Ah. Yeah,
John, excellent
I
one.
think the music, the back to music, the backing music in this is just so good,
Yeah.
and it kind of refers to that pianola sound almost, or that hipola. But the trumpet as well is just awesome. I mean, you could listen to an instrumental of this and it would be pleasing enough.
Yeah.
But the way they flow is just great, and you didn't even get Swayze that's going to react like a Jack in the Box, which would have probably just topped it off. So yeah, it's a real favorite of mine. I love. There's about, I would say, I love this album, but I'd say there's 4 solid gold classic tracks on here that are really top shelf.
Yeah.
From that '92 sound, and this is one of them.
Yeah, no, this is
So
thanks for putting them on my radar. I thought, I've got a pretty good idea of some of the earlier acts that I listed, but these guys somehow didn't really land on my radar for whatever reason.
So they did come over here because I think they had a relative success. I mean, they didn't pull up any roots or anything, but even hit the charts. But they did some gigs over here in '92, and I saw them at the Jazz Cafe in London.
Oh,
Now, my memory is a little fuzzy. I may have partaken of the delights that the big city had to offer that evening, but the Jazz Cafe is a very intimate venue, or was back then anyway. Awesome. I don't know how many it holds, 500, something like that. And there's a mezzanine along the top as well, like a balcony. Me and my mate were up there, and hardly anyone else went up there. So there was about 10 of us, and so we had free access to the bar all the time.
right. Yeah.
So which doesn't help with my memory, but I do remember the 3 of them there. I do remember this huge grand piano that was played live for this track, and there was a drum kit as well. I can't remember. There was probably other instruments as well. I just very fuzzy, but I do remember the song and the banging out on this huge grand piano. It sounded fucking glorious.
Yeah.
It was a really good night. Yeah, and quite a sort of, again, they were a bit of a secret delight. They weren't full. Everyone was going through I later saw Cypress Hill, and like everyone was going fucking nuts with them, and they were like all the Rizzler, branded sort of 12 inches and all that stuff were fucking everywhere in everyone's t-shirts. The goats would just slip by. Yeah. And we used to go off into Nottingham City near us on a Saturday night once every 3 or so weeks, and there'll be a few hip hop clubs and stuff. And this is one album that we would just play all the way through as we were driving across, and then a bit of Far Side and a bit of what else, but Beastie Boys definitely. But anyway, so just carry on the story. Their follow-up album was No Goats, No Glory, '94. The Goats toured with Urge, Overkill, Dog Eat Dog, Cypress Hill, Public Enemy, Beastie Boys, and Luscious Jackson. In '94, Oti Kato departed the Goats reportedly because he had missed a plane flight to a tour date. I think there's a lot more to that story, but he was replaced by vocalist and drummer Derek D-Wrecker Pierce. Oti has since left the music business, and he now apparently holds seminars on the use of Bitcoin and other topics such as climate change. Swayze would cease all musical activity after the band broke up. However, remaining member Mad, MA to the double D, continues to perform and produce music. First with the Goats spin-off group Incognegro, later with Black Landlord and SPK, and more on that later.
Okay.
In the introduction to the 2019 book about Rough House Records by Chris Schwartz, the Roots lead man Questlove writes that the Goats requested his band to warm up for them, resulting in their first ever live show. So they played as warm up for the Goats. So
that's awesome. And yeah, you said Philly, and even before that, I was already thinking about the Roots and other groups that were akin to this. And then that totally makes sense. And it's around the same time too. I could see these guys giving the Roots some shine as they were coming up behind them.
But you're right. I mean, early NWA, everyone sort of loves that, and it has its place.
For sure.
The sort of the nonsense that carried on after that, and as you say, rapping about the yachts, and I love the gangster rap stuff. It's just stupid, in my opinion. And there's some more thoughtful or interesting stuff shone through. As you say, like backpack, whatever you want to call it, but all sorts of stuff. But yeah, this is one of those. going on about George Bush and Dan Quayle. It's hilarious. It really is. They're going about Swayzat's going to cut the quail's beak and all this sort of stuff. You know, it brings back fond memories. It really does.
And all of a
Brilliant.
sudden, the push for the censorship of music aligns around with the same time too, and like rap is being proliferated, and they're starting to talk about people in power, and now the people in power are reacting by putting stupid black and white labels on the front of our albums, as if that's not going to just entice youngsters to want to see it more, you know what I mean, or listen to it more. It's just silly, you know.
I think I told you about the story that NWA's album came in and was in a warehouse, had been shipped in from America, and the police actually raided the warehouse to seize copies. It's just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
All because they said fuck the police. I mean, imagine that.
Yeah.
Isn't that First Amendment stuff?
Yeah, it's something you think.
We don't have First Amendment in this country though, so we know our place. Anyway, thanks for listening. I should wrap things up. Thanks for listening, Sandy. This has got a real fond place in my heart, so it brings joy to some other people out there. So folks out there, if you like this, do hit the like button, and also drop some comments, all rhymes of your own. Imagine. We'd love to hear what you think about this, and any other stuff we talked around as well. Great days. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And all this could be yours and more besides. Hop on board. We really appreciate everyone who support the channel. That being said, thanks again so much for watching, and we'll see all of you in the next episode of the Audiophiles.
See you later, guys.